Welcome to the next project. This one I'm calling Bike in a Box because most of it is in boxes. But before we get to that, let me stand back, show you the frame. So this bike, I'll give you some history on it. This bike is a Honda CM400t. A lot of people refer to the T as for turd. Because it was not one of the prettiest bikes that Honda made. It's a 79, and according to the guy I got it from, it was an original running, driving barn find. The owner had it in a barn for a long time, but when he went to go check it out and buy it, it started up. He drove it around the property a little bit. I guess he had aspirations of making it a cafe racer or a brat or something. I'm not really sure what. So, but I guess his idea was to build the bike his forever bike. And so in that sort of vein, he was going to spare no expense. And what you see behind me is the full powder coated frame. He stripped it down, every single nut and bolt. He had the frame powder coated, he had the wheels powder coated, he had the lower front forks powder coated, as well as a few other bits and pieces, the stands and the engine mounts and things like that, all this lovely gloss black. He bought spanking new tires. I have a receipt for $500 or $600 for tires. With that, every single nut, every single bolt, every single bearing got done. So the entire steering setup is all new bearings, all new seals, everything's been done. Both wheels, there's a new sprocket on the back wheel, and the thing is as clean as possibly can be. Like there's nothing on it. Also, he purchased new rear shocks. The ad said he put about, all in all, about $5 grand into it, and I don't know if it's that much, but he sunk some money into parts. And then, like a lot of projects, it just stalled. It sat in his garage for a long time. I think he always intended to get to it, and then he was selling his house and moving to a condo. And the ad actually sat up online for a long time. I kind of watched it and hummed and hawed and thought, whatever, you know, and then we finally spoke and we came to an agreement on a price that was fair for a bike in a box. The one thing he didn't do before he powder coated it was do any cutting on anything. Like all the tabs still exist for the side panels and for the seat. Actually, I did, full disclosure, if I can find it, as soon as I got it in the house, I cut off this one back here because it was I was just trying to test fit up that seat that I've told you about before, and this was in my way, so I cut that off almost immediately because I just wanted to start visualizing how I was going to go with it. So I'm not sure what his final vision was, but this was the beginning of it. So it's a really good, clean start to whatever it's going to become. So that's the frame, that's the good. That's what really intrigued me about the ad and to go in this direction. And you know, a little bit of a challenge is never a bad thing. The bad is this. Ooh. There. That's the rest of it. So that's the project I'm left with, is not only putting it all together, but also hoping it's all there to go together. Because literally you're trusting somebody's organizational skills as they're taking it apart. Why don't we start by going through some of the stuff in my boxes, and I'll tell you what I know and do not know, and what I guess and what I hope. And we'll also figure out what I'm missing, because I've got a pretty good idea already. Start with the big one. Tank is in immaculate condition. It is in such good condition now. If I use it, I will put that disclaimer in there. But right now, It's the only tank I have. The paint is immaculate. The badges, you know, with a little black spray. This thing could be a quick turnaround in terms of that, and not have to do a lot of prepping. And there's no dings, there's no dents. Inside is really clean. I've got the key for the gas cover. It matches the ignition and also matches the steering lock. So that's the tank. So what he did was he took out the engine that was running perfectly fine, and I guess his intention, I don't know if he was just gonna paint it or have it resprayed or something, but he had all the pieces taken off and he had them all sandblasted down to this dull finish. So the good and the bad is I don't have to clean it. The bad is I will have to paint it. It's probably gonna go black anyway. So that's one of the side covers. Looks really good, doesn't seem to be any pitting, scoring, no rusting. Really clean, no dirt in the grooves at all. So really a good start on a questionable part. There's the heads. Valves look like they're sitting okay. Obviously I need a whole new gasket set for this. The rockers. I got a book, carburetor mounts, exhaust flanges, starter, cam chain tensioner, camshaft. And this is one of the expenses that he told me he incurred. Completely rebuilt carbs. Only thing I don't know is jet size. From what he told me, he paid a lot of money to have some guy do this. Airbox, not gonna use it. Rear bumper, it's actually in great shape. Front fender, once again in really good shape. This I will keep, this I will cut. Chain guard, chrome. Good looking. Handlebars. Now, he told me that these are the original handlebars. I'm having some doubts just because 79 CM400, I've never seen a picture that didn't have a much higher lift on them, and these are almost flat. The back rack with the saddlebag add-on thing. Last of the big things, the seat. Now we start getting into the little bits. Brake stuff. Hoses. I got passenger foot pegs. So I got some bolts, rear axle, front brake disc, lower triple, foot pegs. I was wondering where those were. Engine mounts, good to have. Dirty and looks, no idea. Side plastic body rubbers. One front turn signal. I see engine mounts, I see springs for like kickstands and stuff, the toe rubber for the shifting lever, just a lot of random nuts and bolts. That's the lock, goes up in the triple tree for the steering. Odds and ends of rubber things. That looks like an old bearing race that from the triple tree. So this is sort of the nothing is labeled. If I'm looking for something, it's hopefully in here kind of box. Speedo assembly, complete. Probably not going to use any of it. Front brake, the master cylinder. This is the kickstand. This is the center kickstand. Throttle, kill switch assembly. This is the other side. Lights, high, low, turn, and horn. Does this one have a start? Yeah, and the other one has a start button as well. It's the rest of the powder coated stuff. This looks foot peggy. I think these are the foot peg mounts. Front brake caliper, kickstand bolts. I'm hoping this is engine mount stuff, because that's the stuff that worries me, but I think it is. This dude, have to figure that out. There's two of them, so I'm guessing it's got something to do with, probably to do with foot pegs. Some more linkage. This is the spring for the center stand, I know that. These little guys, I'm gonna guess center stands. And then there's a whole bag of bolts, which say nothing. Battery is well dead, I believe. No water in there. Here's the other turn signal from the front. Old and extra parts, please keep. Oh, so this is from when the carbs got rebuilt. These are all the extra nuts and seals and stuff. Carb leftovers, so we know that. Small sprocket. It's the hardware for that, which I haven't seen yet. So put that on the list of the first thing that I actually I haven't come across. If I have to order a sprocket, not a huge deal. Rear brake pedal, good stuff. Kickstand, oh, and there's the rubber for the side kickstand. Headlight, but no headlight bucket. And no headlight bucket mounts. New headlight probably in the cards, which I was going to do anyway, and with that will come the mounts, the bloody annoying universal fit that don't really fit mounts. Electronics, I've got flasher, I've got fuses, I've got the rectifier, I've got all the in and out harness plugs for it, so hopefully all works. Coil, bulk of the main wiring harness. Kickstart, shifter, missing the rubber because we found that already. Battery cage. Once again, for our purposes, we are going to move and probably downsize the battery. Center stand, pin, and front fender bolts. So what am I missing? Best I can tell, front sprocket, bucket for the headlight, mounting tabs for the headlight, the side panels. But the one big important thing, and I actually called the guy back a few days later because I was just like, can you please look for those? I'm missing the headers and I'm missing all the exhaust. Nothing. I do have the flanges for the exhaust, but no pipes. No pipes at all. He's already looked in his garage and doesn't have them as far as he knows. He actually offered to buy me a set of used ones. Which I'm not going to take him up on because I bought the bike. It was up to me as I was loading it in the car to, you know, I was looking over the parts. I assumed by his organization that it was all together, but you know, shame on me for not checking. So I'm not gonna hold him to that. Now I'm not buying some Mac 2-in-1 $400 swanky exhaust thing, but I might try and do something different. If I had the original ones, I would have come out on the sides and just put little shorty pipes on the ends and just had the whole, and just, you know, minimum expense. I'm still going to go minimum expense on it, but I've seen a couple things for sale locally that from different bikes that I might see if I can make something fit. The rubber mounts for the tank, I do have the front ones, I do have the back tank mount. That back one is actually broken, it's just on the table there. But that's all I think is missing. Well, there's no chain. Ha ha ha. I'm looking forward to building it up. I've gotten bikes down to the frames before or whatever, but just in terms of figuring out where it originally went and then figuring out how to alter it to do some custom stuff is I think it's going to be a fun little project.